I want to talk about the Texas defense in that game versus Wyoming. Obviously, the 62-yard run was really disappointing. And I think the Texas defenders, when they talk to the media, will probably be the first to tell you that they were really disappointed in that big run they gave up early. But after that, if you remove that 62-yard touchdown from Wyoming, that was first drive, fifth play, and I think we got to give that kid Whaley just credit. He's a good player, and he's got some wheels.
He does.
And I will point out, I think Texas wants more speed at safety, and that's one of the reasons. All right, that's why they're playing that young kid Derek Williams out of Louisiana. He's starting to get some rotation there at safety. They actually did try to pick on the Texas safeties a little bit.
Yeah, Jaron Thompson had the pick six that sealed the game essentially, but he also had some. They attacked him on third downs, trying to get him in coverage.
Yeah, then they wanted to run basically that deeper out cut and see if he could cover that ground from that hash to that sideline. And I think he made a play on it early. And then they got him like 2 or 3 times throughout the game. And finally, this is what I love about this team too, shows a lot of high football IQ as well as high football character. He figured it out. Right? He finally figured out that while they were trying to attack him, and then he jumped that out route. Fozzie was talking about, hey, somebody's got to jump that out route, man. They keep throwing it. He finally jumped it. But they were attacking the safeties. They won't be the only ones to do that. Other teams will go after the Texas safeties. Because Keaton Crawford, they went after him a little bit too. So I think they figured out how to isolate some of those safeties based on the formations. But listen, we're being nitpicky here. You take out the 62-yard touchdown run on the fifth play of the game, the Cowboys averaged 2.5 yards per rush and 3.5 yards per play. So they figured it out pretty quickly.
Well, and the quarterback, we talked about last week with Andrew Peasley. They may bench him just for health, for the big picture for Wyoming, because he was dealing with a bit of an injury. So you don't know the quarterback, and he turns out to be a big. Remember, this head coach at Wyoming helped to develop Josh Allen, right?
Yeah.
And so he found this kid at Snow College who's 6'5" and 240 and got a big arm. Longhorns prepared for Peasley all week, and all of a sudden you got this backup in there. And you said it, Harrison Whaley was a good running back. I thought the kid Wyatt Whelan, number 11, their receiver, was a good player. I mean, he was able to find holes in the Texas defense. But as you said, after the 62-yard run, here's the drive chart for Wyoming. Not a lot, right? Punt, 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 punt. Field goal after a 17-play drive in the third quarter, which chewed up over almost 11 minutes of clock time. Then punt, interception, punt, game over. So they scored on the first drive of the game and their first drive of the second half, and they didn't do anything the rest of the game. So good job, defense.
It was a really good job by the defense. And one of the things that you're noticing about the defense is they're rotating a lot of guys. You still see a lot of guys playing on defense. I think it's a good sign because I think they're going to have a lot of different options for different matchups throughout the season, depending on who they play and depending on, like I said, if they're picking on certain guys. You can say they actually rotated in Malik Muhammad and Gavin Holmes after they started picking on Ryan Watts a little bit. Downfield. You talked about Whelan. They went after Ryan Watts a little bit downfield at times too. And remember that cover, they were in cover 2. It was a big third down. Probably the best throw by the quarterback all day, and big time conversion by them. I think you saw the secondary for Texas rotate different players. I think situationally, Malik Muhammad, better cover guy. Gavin Holmes, maybe considered a better cover guy for them too. So I think that's something to watch for as well. And they're rotating like 5 different safeties now. Hell, Taft gets rotations in there along with Keaton Crawford, along with Jalen Catalon, along with Jaron Thompson, and now young Derek Williams is getting a lot of rotations at safety. And I'm talking about the crucial moments, not just, mop up time or garbage time. We're talking about relevant reps. It'd be interesting to see if that continues in conference play, but I think it will, because I saw it versus Bama. Like I said, Sark wouldn't play anybody he didn't trust, or PK wouldn't play anybody he didn't trust versus Alabama. So the defense, we were hoping that they could make the leap from good to great. I think they're still on that kind of pace. They just need I think they need some guys to make the leap and to improve. And a part of that is those safeties in the back end. Anthony Hill is going to get better. I mean, he was just out of his gap and playing the wrong gap. That's why they gave the 62-yard run, and he'll be more gap sound. He's a freshman, but they still got a guy like David Benda in there that can stabilize the defense. So I like what I saw from the defense, other than the 62-yard run they gave up and I think the safeties were attacked a little bit. We're being nitpicky. I think the defense had a great game, and I love what I believe it was Eric and Eileen said it, that basically the ceiling of this team is the offense and what they can do, but the basement, kind of the floor of this team is the defense, and the floor won't ever be that low.
Yeah,
because the defense will keep you in every game. It'll keep you actually you should be ahead in every game, but it'll keep you right there in every game because I don't see this defense being a sieve and being exploited by a lot of teams. Some teams will get them matchup wise. Watch out for Kansas. Watch out for Oklahoma. But I don't see a lot of teams being able to just match up really well with Texas defense because it's so versatile and so multiple.
All right, coming up, we'll give away our Viking Fence defensive play of the game. We gave away the player of the game last hour. That was Jade Barron with his 9-tackle performance. Also, you could put Barron Sorrell in there. He had a tackle for loss and a sack. Longhorns now have 9 sacks on the year. Jalen Ford had 7 tackles and a tackle for loss. Tavondre Sweat had a tackle for loss. Vernon Broughton had a TFL. Ethan Burke had half of one. So, yeah, after the long run, then give Wyoming credit. They wanted to slow this game down. They wanted to shorten the game. And they ended up with a time of possession advantage over Texas of 38 minutes, Rod.
Yeah.
And that 117-play drive that they had was a big part of that time of possession win. But that's what the coach wanted. Craig Ball is a good coach, won a bunch of national championships at the lower levels, and now he's trying to build this Wyoming team. And they executed a good game plan. They had some new players Longhorn I think hadn't seen, the quarterback and the running back. And once they got a hold of that, defense did exactly what you said, kept them there, and then the offense exploded. And then the defense capped it off with a touchdown of their own. So Longhorns 31, Wyoming 10.